Today we're joined by Aithal. When his stroke happened, most of his family, outside of his wife and child, were living in India. That meant going through a life changing event while much of his family support was across the world, adding another layer to an already overwhelming situation. I first came across Aithal while searching for real stroke stories, not medical case studies, but honest experiences from people who had actually lived it. He's the author of A Stroke of Luck, but what drew me to him wasn't just the book. It was his willingness to talk openly about his experience. Athel wanted to share what life after a stroke really looks like: losing speech, losing independence, frustration, the mental battle, and the long process of rebuilding. He's honest about the slow progress, the setbacks, and the moments where even small wins feel significant. That's why conversations like this matter. Hearing from someone who has been through it helps people feel less alone and helps other understanding what recovery really looks like day to day.
And it reminds you that progress isn't the same for everyone, and that's okay.
So today we're going to focus on Ethel's story and what he's learned along the way. This will be an audio only conversation, which lets us focus on the words, the pauses, and the meaning behind them. We're really grateful to have Ethel with us today. All right, we're joined by Idol. We've been really looking forward to this one. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
You're most welcome. My pleasure.
So, can you take us back to the day of your stroke? What were the moments like before you knew what was happening?
Well, I'm a programmer, so I had a contract in Oregon, and I just flown back from Oregon on Sunday, and on Monday morning in October of 2000, I just I had to finish something, so I decided to take a break, and I used to smoke that time.
Okay.
So I went to the restroom, and, I was sitting there and smoking. And after I finished my smoking, uh, I got up and suddenly the room started feeling dizzy, spinning. So I came out and I told my wife that, something is wrong. I'm not feeling good. Everything was spinning around.
Uh-huh.
So my wife told me that, you've not had anything since morning. All you've had is coffee. So why don't you just take a rest? I told her, no, I think it's more than that. It's a stroke.
Mhm. So,
And
why
then what?
why were you how sorry to interrupt, but why did you initially think, that it was a stroke right away?
Because I realized, slowly it was normally when somebody feels dizzy,
Uh-huh.
you know, you kind of feel that robe is kind of, spinning, but it was more than that because I was feeling like a weird sensation in my head.
Uh-huh, so you
And
you knew it was something more.
I knew it was something more. And she said, "Why don't you sit out and rest on the sofa?" So I went there, and like within like I would say about 30 seconds, my right side froze. My face started drooping.
Wow.
I started throwing up and all that. So you know,
Yeah,
I
'cause
knew it was that time. She realized it's way more than that.
yeah, 'cause mine was on my I had I had a really bad headache, so mine was a little bit different.
Uh,
I didn't know I had a stroke or anything. I just knew I had a really bad headache, and
but was there a clot or a bleeding?
it was I'm telling you, I just had a really bad headache. I mean, my wife just told me, "Go take a shower and, we'll go downstairs and get dressed, and we'll go downstairs and have something to eat and see how you feel after that."
And then he was just a bit confused, and then eventually the ambulance came, and then,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
was
yeah,
that was that yeah.
I hate keep saying the same thing all the time, but, a lot of times, what basically happened was I just wasn't myself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in my case, I know I that time my son was like year and a half old,
Uh-huh.
and so he didn't understand much. But like my wife dialed like 911,
Uh-huh.
and like within 5 minutes, I had every I had ambulance, a police car, and fire engine right outside my house. me to they put me in the ambulance and they were taking me, they called the nearby hospital, but unfortunately the hospital which was near me didn't have the facility to treat my kind of stroke, so they
Right.
recommended I go to Long Beach Memorial, so they took me to Long Beach Memorial.
But you remember being in the in the, ambulance and so on.
Yes,
You
I do.
Oh, okay, yeah, see, I don't remember that at all. Once they got me into the ambulance is when that's when I just
That's pretty much the
yeah,
last thing you
that's the last
remember.
thing I remember, yeah.
Oh yeah, you passed out.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was until he
Oh,
came out of, his until he was out of the ICU 5 weeks later, he doesn't really remember
yeah,
anything.
I don't remember anything, yeah, from the day that it happened until, I woke up, which was 5 months later or 5 weeks later.
for in my case, what happened was after I went to Long Beach Memorial, because I had a severe headache. I just was screaming
Right.
because so they gave me morphine for me to feel better, but my head was still hurting. So they gave me one more dose of morphine, and after that I passed out. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
The next time I remember is that I waking up in the ICU.
Right. Mm,
Which
and
wa
Yeah.
which was how long after that? What do you about? When did
Uh, Maybe I don't know how long it took because I guess must be hours. I think from the time I passed out to my ICU. So I was probably passed out for about what, half a day or something.
okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
The only problem was when I came to and they said, okay, you got to do MRI and all that. That
Mhm.
time I could not even lie down because of I used the whole room used to start spinning.
Yeah.
So and I didn't realize that I could not talk that time. So the only way I could do is my right side was frozen, so with my left hand, I could just make a hand gesture that the room is spinning that way. So fortunately, the technician understood what I was trying to say. So he kind of made me feel more comfortable.
Great. So, how did your family, your wife specifically, react in those first few hours and days as you were unable to communicate, speak?
Well, I think she was in a shock and denial because just imagine, she's 34 and everything is going good, and suddenly she's being told that and we are the only one here, me, my wife, and my two children.
Right.
Everyone else is back in India.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
ask you about that. I'm sure that adds a whole new difficulty to the already
so
hectic
it
situation.
was difficult for her to process because the doctor said, do you have somebody close by whom you can call? And I think I made it 50-50 chance of survival, but later on my wife told me it was like really worse than 50-50.
Huh.
And
Yeah.
because they told her that we are not too sure if we're going to make it or not, so you better call your family. And
Yeah.
she could not understand what they were trying to say.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, because I mean, they had no idea, how long if I was gonna, be
If you were
alive,
gonna make it,
if I
yeah.
was gonna make it, and again, that's just
exactly.
yeah, this is all that what they told me. I didn't realize that was going on, but that this is what they told me when I woke up,
Yeah.
was I was was I may have had a 50-50 that I would have lived also.
Mhm.
And see, the worst thing is, after stroke, when you are okay, in the sense, whatever okay is,
Right.
you think it's a minor thing and, you'll spring back into action in like maybe couple of weeks or something. You don't realize the severity of stroke.
Mhm. Oh,
So
no.
I told my wife that, just call my business partner in Oregon and tell him that I'll be there in 2 weeks. And she was like laughing about it. She didn't she
Yeah.
realized that I must be crazy.
Yeah, you didn't realize how severe it was. I think that was very similar to
Yeah.
my father as
Yeah,
well.
I had no yeah, once I woke up, I really I thought I was okay. I woke up and,
Y
I thought I
y
was okay again.
Yeah, and he thought
Yeah,
that
yeah.
going through the next few weeks, he'd
Yeah, well,
eventually yeah,
actually, the next day or 2 is really what it
everything
was.
would come back.
Everything, yeah, I thought I was,
Yeah, 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 exactly.
yeah,
And the worst thing is that I myself, I had lost my speech, and for a long time, I didn't know that I lost my speech. My
so
thoughts
did
were
I.
clear, but I could not communicate to the doctor because
Mhm.
it was not coming out. My tongue was feeling thick, and nobody could understand what I was saying. The only person who could understand what I was saying was my wife, and because little bit whatever she would understand, because we have been there for since we have been childhood sweethearts. So she would
Uh-huh.
be the one who would understand that okay, he's trying to say this, he's trying to say that, and she
Exactly.
would be the interpreter between me and the doctor.
Yeah, so she really had to step up in that situation, so
Oh
you
yeah.
uh-huh,
And I realize now that how communicating to somebody and expressing is so important, because what happens, you yourself are very frustrated because you know what you want to say but you cannot say.
Now from the
Yeah.
beginning, when you were in the hospital, were you able to use your arms and legs and so on?
No, no, no. In fact, I when I was in the hospital, I could not sit up, I could not move my arms, I cannot do. I was wheelchair in the wheelchair, and in ICU, I could not even chew. I could not eat. I had probably bitten my tongue several times. So doctor said that okay, no, no, you're just giving some soft food. Don't give him any hard food because that might be dangerous for him.
Yeah,
And when I was in the hospital and in ICU, my face was drooping, and I still remember in ICU they held a mirror in front of me,
uh-huh,
and maybe that is something because when I saw myself, I could not recognize because my one side is drooping and all that.
yep,
wow, yeah.
So probably something happens to the brain, and brain tries to correct your facial expression that okay, this is the way you are supposed to look. That way.
exactly, the brain recognized that something was
Yeah,
off.
yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly, exactly.
It's ju
That's what.
that's just
And
another
we
thing,
don't.
another amazing thing about our brains.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah. I mean, brain is really amazing, and that time you realize that though it is like it controls everything, every part of your body.
Yep,
Even now, my brain may want to say, okay, move your leg this way, but if it doesn't move, it doesn't move.
right.
Yeah.
That way.
Well, did you were you able to use your arms and legs fairly quickly after that, or when did they start
Oh
coming
no,
back?
I was in the hospital for 50 days, and I remember that for the period I was there, I was wheelchair bound. I could not do that. And I remember one time when a physical therapist came to my room and I said that, we are going to learn how to shave today. You have to learn everything.
Right.
Yeah. See, I was
So, and my wife is looking at him and she's thinking like, are you crazy? This man can't even stand. How do you expect him to shave?
Yeah.
So, oh, don't worry, I'll teach him. So they have
yeah,
this gate belt, right?
yeah,
So
see,
they tied the gate belt around me. They made me get up and they basically made me stand in front of the mirror, look at me and go through the motions of, lathering my face and shaving that way.
yeah, see,
And I could only use the left hand. I could not even use the right hand.
yeah, see, I was a little different because
Oh, yeah?
my right arm was a little bit we're a little bit weaker, but,
Oh,
but so to me, okay, I woke up and I'm gonna be okay.
yeah.
And yeah, but as as we know, it really wasn't okay.
So
But what about your thoughts? Could you talk and all that?
Yeah, no, I was speaking, but it was,
he wasn't making much sense.
yeah,
He was really just saying one word here and there, and it wasn't making we would be able to figure it out again, like how you said your wife, who she knows you, so she could figure things out, little clues here and there. So our family was able to kind of figure out what he wanted to say based off those little clues, but during those first few days and weeks, he was not really getting out words correctly.
yeah, it just yeah,
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 that's the thing. See, the isn't that is really the frustrating part, because I know what I wanted to do, because I had a very my cognition was good. My
Yeah,
brain, I could think intact, but the
it
words would
didn't
not come out.
yeah, it didn't affect you at all, in with your intelligence, it only affected just the speech that was connected
Yeah,
from your brain to your mouth.
Yeah, because yeah, 'cause
exactly. That was part of it, and it was more like even now it's probably more physical than mental, in the sense that if I, s- I still have balancing issues and all that, that way.
yeah. See, I don't have that. I don't have any of that problem. It's the speaking part that got to me is my aphasia part, where I didn't know how to read. I didn't know how to write. All of a sudden, they gave me something to look at, and all I saw were letters, and I had no idea what those letters were, so I couldn't read. And so that's when I started to get scared. Is when, my arms were working, my legs were working, but I couldn't, I couldn't understand, I couldn't do the reading.
How long ago was it, your stroke?
Yeah, it's gonna be actually 9 years, in 2 months.
Oh,
Yeah, April 30th is when I had my
be-
stroke.
because right now, your speech is perfect, in the sense, okay, if I'm talking, it's like, halted, but that is natural. That anyone can do that. That
Yeah.
anyone does it.
Yeah, it just I have to pick up different words. In other words, in my mind, I wanna say something, but I know that and I try and talk that and I try and speak that word, but it doesn't come up, so I have to change my speech, talk.
Exactly. I have realized one thing, that, the most important thing is communicating. Communicating is more important than speaking well.
Mhm.
If you're able to put your point across to a person opposite you, it doesn't matter what word, how you speak. You speak slowly, you enunciate, and they realize, okay, he's speaking slowly. Then they get used to your way of talking.
Right. Yeah,
So
Yeah,
they
exactly.
will know that this is the way the person talks. So it's fine, but you're able to put your point across.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask, which milestones have been most meaningful or surprising to you since, was it when you, first walked again, spoke again?
I know I was talking to my wife, and what do you think? I was going through the questions, and I was talking to my wife and say that, what do you think? Which are the milestones? And
Uh-huh.
she's like, each and every milestone have been important. Like, you being able to walk, you being able to talk. But for you personally, I think the most important thing was getting your driver's license back in. She's right, because that was the hardest. Because, when I was in the hospital, by law, they are supposed to inform the DMV, and DMV will kind of, you know, suspend the license.
Yeah, that's the
So,
same thing that happened to
yeah,
my dad. I guess in California, they need to notify the DMV at any time that there's a stroke.
right.
they immediately take it away. I think there's either 3 or 4 states that do that immediately. I forgot which ones, but I know that there's 3 or 4 of them, that, as soon as you have the stroke, the hospital has to call them and let them know.
Right. And in my case, and they have a special DMV office where you have to go, where you will be evaluated. So I was not able to drive for a year. And
Mhm.
after that, I went to that office, and that lady, she tested me, and uh, she was not very good. She was very stern and all that. And
She
after that,
she
when
probably wasn't aware of that you had a stroke and,
no, she probably knew I had a stroke, but she didn't know the severity of it.
that's what I
And
meant, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
and after that, when I came home, she said, "You'll get a letter from DMV,
Yeah.
for the next step." And I get a letter in the mail from DMV saying that your license has been revoked. And that is something that really scared me. Getting suspended is you get a chance to prove yourself. Revoke means you cannot, and you know how things are in California.
Mhm.
In California, if you cannot drive, you might as well be on a wheelchair. You're
Okay.
really stuck. You cannot go anywhere.
Right.
So I went there again. I to the office and I said, "Please give me a chance. I'm not asking you to uh, uh, give me my license back. All I'm saying is give me a chance, test me, and I'll be ready." Then she said, "Okay, let me go through it, your file." And in the file, she saw a word called memory. So she's like, "Sir, I'm very sorry, but since the doctor has said that, the stroke can affect memory,
Uh-huh.
you'll have to take a written test again because I don't know if you'll be able to understand the signals and the signs on the road."
Sure.
So I had to relearn that, and after that, I had to go to a special driving school for a training. And after that, I went back and said, "Okay, now I'm ready for testing." Then the person tested me, and he was, closely monitoring me, my reflexes, and all that time, whether
Yeah.
I'm able to see left and right and all. And after that, okay, he said, "Okay, you're passed. You'll get your license back." So that was the biggest achievement, I think, because I know it was so difficult.
Yeah, but you didn't have to take the reading the reading test and all the other ones, just the just to
The
No,
driving?
just
no,
driving.
the written test, right? That is the reading because I had to read the book, I had to read the laws, and after that I had to give the written test. So they took me to a room I was the only guy there
Uh-huh.
who gave the written test. And after I passed that reading or written test, they put me on behind the wheel.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. Was
Yeah,
that similar to how
Yeah,
you got it
pretty
back?
much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
yeah.
would say. Yeah.
Mhm. So, I was wondering if you can talk about some of the challenges that you've had with vision and hearing and body temperature regulation. I have noticed that you've spoken about that in the past.
Oh, yeah. I mean, vision is something when I was in the hospital, I was literally seeing. I had double vision. So if you would stand in front of me, I would see two of you
Oh.
Mhm.
apart.
Mhm.
And s- over period, my vision got corrected, and the 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 temperature part, the body temperature, even now, on the right hand side, I cannot feel much about, I cannot feel whether it is
Oh.
hot or cold. What I do is I use my left hand to see how hot or cold it is, and then I
And then you
venture into things.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so that's how you'll
So
calibrate it. Okay,
So
very
that has been something, I guess, it's what now? Now 25 years. I just finished 25 years. So I'm used to it now.
right, exactly, it's kinda like second nature to you now at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if somebody gives me a cup of tea or something for me to see how hot it is,
Uh-huh.
by now I'll feel it with my left instead of right. Though I'm, right-handed.
So what was the emotional journey like when you had to confront a kinda new reality of who you were after the stroke?
Uh, well, I would say that, earlier I went through all the
Mm.
basically
I
what
mean,
they
yeah,
call
you were
my,
36 years old, you had just
yeah,
been told that you had a 50-50 chance at life, you had
right.
a
And you
young
have
wife, a
that,
young child, so, I mean, it
yeah,
definitely,
yeah. And see,
had
that is
to
the thing the thing that kept me going was my children and my family.
Okay.
And emotionally, when I was in the hospital, if I used to tend to get philosophical, and I used to ask myself, why me? I've not done anything wrong, why me? And, you know, I always used to get an answer that, why not? What's so special about you?
Yeah. Yeah,
So that
yeah,
is the mental adjustment I've done that,
yeah, because I
there's
feel the
nothing
same.
special about it. Anyone can go through it.
No, I feel the same way. I mean, it's why I say it to this day, I still say, "Why me? How come this happened to me?"
Right.
But, but a as you said,
Yeah, why not?
I'm not
Yeah.
special. Yeah, I'm not special. It can
Mm,
happen to anybody.
Exactly. Yeah. And your priorities change because, what you
mhm,
are what you think is important is less important to you after the stroke.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so when there was, deep frustration or you had some slow progress, was it really the family that was keeping you going?
Oh, yeah. And that is the only, I mean, I was totally determined that, for my kids who were my daughter was about 10 that time, and my son 1.5. So I wanted to make sure that they grow up and become, I want to be for them. And
Mhm,
of course, my wife, we had been together for a long time. I cannot imagine, what she must have gone through. And, you know, I always believe that when you go out, person is and say, for instance, you're in a wheelchair, people are empathetic
uh-huh,
towards the person in the wheelchair, but they don't, they ignore the person pushing the wheelchair because
right.
that is so important that, that person is the true caregiver.
No,
Without that, it's very difficult to make it.
Oh, no, you can't make it yourself. You have to have everybody around you. You have to that are all taking care of you or helping you. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean, to this day, I say that my wife my wife is she keeps me alive to this
mhm,
day. I mean, she'll sometimes put my pills up. She'll do a lot of things for me.
And
So yeah,
and
so
from what I see, Justin too, he's done so. I
yeah.
think he's doing a very noble work.
Thank you very much, I appreciate
Y-
that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, in the hospital, my wife had to watch like a hawk, like an angel,
Mhm.
not hawk, an angel, that she would see, because, all sudden, I remember one time what happened, I was given a medication about, and the shift changed. And the new shift
N
came that
yeah,
the
new
new nurse
nurses.
was giving me the same medication again. She was double dosing me. She didn't realize by mistake. And my wife, like, what are you giving him?
Yeah,
I think that that person has already. Then they said, oh, yeah, he's already taken it.
right.
That
Yeah,
was
no,
that was one thing. And the second thing was when I was in the hospital in the wheelchair, I was in severe pain. But the nurses said that doctor said that you cannot lie down on the bed
mhm,
for, you have to sit in a chair, you have to be upright to get better. So I was screaming because I was in severe pain.
right.
Then the doctors came and the doctor said that, no, he is depressed. You gave him some antidepressant. My wife said nothing. He's not depressed. He is in pain.
yeah,
You just make him lie down and he'll be okay. Don't give him an antidepressant.
Yeah,
And they said they made her sign a form saying that, you're taking the responsibility of not giving him antidepressant and all that. So she had to go through. And I know without her, I would probably be, I don't know what I would be.
yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
yeah, no, it really
Yeah.
takes everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Looking back 24 years later, what do you think has changed most about your sense of self and your outlook on life?
Well, I learned to slow down and appreciate different aspects of life. I've learned to be happy about even small things, just like, going to a grocery and driving, getting into my car, driving. Because before I got my stroke, I was more into like, okay, let me be about, achieve money, 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 money.
Yeah,
But
living a faster life.
now it's like, yeah, exactly. After stroke, it's literally like our reborn. So I had to learn how to chew, I had to learn how to walk, I had to learn how to write, how to learn how to talk.
Mhm.
So the important, I see a lot of people who are successful. Unfortunately, most of the people equate success with money, and I do not do that.
Mhm.
That is the main shift I would say I would have, because for me, contentment and happiness is more important
Yeah.
than
Uh,
being after money.
is that why I've seen that you've, kind of explained your experience as being lucky despite everything. Can you kind of unpack what that word means to you?
Oh yeah, I really, especially nowadays when I see uh, different cases of people with severity and so much difficulty, I think I was lucky. Number one, I was lucky to survive. Recently, I'm 61, and recently I lost a good friend of mine who was at 61, and that made me think. I was really, I mean, yeah, things have happened which are bad to me. Think life would have been different, but I was lucky to survive. I was lucky to have a good family support, and friends around me. I was lucky to get, timely medical help. So there could have been a lot. I mean, I just think that I had come just for 2 days because that I was working in Oregon. So for 2 days, I'd come from Oregon
Uh-huh.
to
Yeah, so you could have
LA
been
and
out
I
of
got
town
one
when it
stroke. What
happened.
what if I'd got a stroke there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think I'd have made it.
Yeah. No,
So
I
I would
definitely
say
get
I
it.
was lucky that I came here, and because I came here, I flew back on Sunday and I was supposed to fly back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just
Again.
come back for 2 days, and that is the time it happened. But if I was there and if it would have happened, yeah, I don't think I would have been so lucky. So yeah, I would say I was lucky, and because I was here, I got proper medical facilities, proper medical help, and all my friends could help. If I was there, I was in no condition. I would not have had that kind of support.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you lose any of your friends because of the stroke or anything like that, or speaking or
Yo,
any of the things?
many. What happens is that you realize who your true friends are because they always stick to you. But there were friends because I before my stroke, it was like, I was like, more social and all that, and I used to have much more friends. But
Mhm.
after stroke, they came and visited me like, once, twice, and after that, it kind of, they disappeared.
Right.
Yeah.
So you realize that, who your friends are, who are going to stick with you, and who your friends are, who are just there for you to meet at the party. That way.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I could say again, and you kind of can use that word lucky again, that despite everything, now you know what's really important to you and who's important
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. And see, that is what happens on that.
Yeah.
There might be people who will come and say, okay, I don't want people to sympathize or feel pity for me. I can see the person who is respecting my intellect and,
Uh-huh.
trying to understand what I'm trying to do as opposed to, okay, let me do that. Because
Yes.
that I don't think is an important thing.
Right.
Yeah.
For someone who's early in the recovery process, what practical habits, routines, or mindsets did you find that helped you and were most effective?
Well, number one is never give up. Keep trying. Keep trying. Because I understand that, it's very easy for me to say that, and not me, for anyone else to say who's normal, who's not gone through it. It's very easy for them to say that, you know, I understand, but the thing is they don't understand the internal suffer. You have to keep trying, you have to keep never give up, and you have to be disciplined. I do my In the morning, I have a routine. I like get up in the morning, I do my exercises, then I spend a lot of time on my computer because that is my passion to be
Mhm,
on the computer and develop. Try to learn different things that way. So that is the most important thing is that you have to be disciplined and have to be uh, you have to have a schedule because all said and done, you have to realize that after your stroke, maybe your social life is not going to be the same as what it was before.
mhm,
So if you are say getting up at 6, make sure you get up early, you go to bed early, get enough rest, you do your exercise because you're in maintenance mode now. And you have to take care, you have to preserve yourself and you have to take care of yourself. Only then you'll be able to enjoy everything.
No,
Yeah.
that's right. No, that's so true. You just have you can't give up. You have to keep moving forward. There's days that you think that that it's getting worse or it's not getting better, and you just have to keep moving forward
Yeah.
and keep keep practicing and keep doing the things that you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And Justin, one of the advice I want to give people, okay, you kind of feel you're in self-pity mode, but the sooner you snap out of it, the better for you. Because, there's only so much of self-pity you may want to do. And if yourself are, in that, people don't want to be around you. They don't want to hear your problems all the time. Okay, you had your problems, and after that, as you said, move on.
Yeah.
You,
wow.
yeah.
So what's next for you? Advocacy, speaking, or something unexpected?
Well, as far as advocacy is concerned, I just want to help people, encourage people that okay, they are not alone. And I had, I want to give my example that okay, I had so much problems, I had gone through so much, and yet I could come up on the other side. And every stroke is different. Some people may not want to believe me because they are into their own sorrow, but there's always a positive aspect of that. And and as I said, I love technology, so I for something unexpected is I keep learning new stuff. Nowadays I'm more into learning. I have learned this thing, web development, but now I'm more into learning AI and how to develop apps for AI. That
Great. Yeah,
so you
AI is the
should
future.
always you have to have a goal. Whatever you enjoy, whatever you passion is, just that is something, according to me, you should spend most of the time obsessing about.
Yeah.
Like for me, I want to learn how to do something with developing websites or apps. Or for somebody else, it might be just music or reading or something like that.
Mhm.
That way.
Alright. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been amazing speaking to you and hearing your passion for recovery and just seeing where you're at today. So, thank you again, and I look forward to staying in touch with you.
Yeah. Thank you. Really. Thank you so much. This is
Thank
really
you, thank you. You're most
yeah.
welcome.
It's really special speaking to you, and I mean, I can just tell you sitting here with my father, listening to you both speak, something's coming out of this, and it makes me happy to be part of it.
Yeah. Me too.
Uh, uh, you know, th- that is the whole idea that people have gone through it, and we are there to help. If somebody wants to ask me more question, I would be more than happy to help them by telling them what I went through. So it's possible that way.
Thank you again, and I hope you have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You take care.